I have spent the last 4.5 months hand making all of this roofing material to be able to roof this house. I made over 1,200 architectural shingles, 58 bundles of shingles, drip edge, ice and water shield, starter strip, ridge vent, and last but not least, hip and ridge caps. All right, I'm gonna be starting on the backside today. The first thing that we're gonna be putting down is drip edge, and then ice and water over that, and then the starter strips, and then we can shingle. So let's get to work. First up is installing the drip edge. I made them by bending and painting aluminum flashing. To attach it, I'm using hot glue, which is strong enough to hold but won't damage the roof. I felt banging nails into the roof would damage it. It wasn't worth the risk. Next, I'm laying down the ice and water shield. I'm simulating this using a black masking tape, which I have cut from a 3-inch roll down to 2¼ inches, making it 3 feet tall to scale. Here I am adding a second row of ice and water. Since I'm basing this build on my experience building houses in New York, this double layer is common practice here. Depending on your location, the code requirements will be different. Before the first course of shingles go on, I need to lay down starter strips. This strip has 2 main jobs. Its sealant prevents wind from lifting the shingles at their edge and covers the joints in the first row. Here I am staggering each row by cutting the shingle 3/8 inch shorter than the one below. With the backside of the roof complete, our focus now shifts to the front, which will be a repeat of the same process, but with a new feature to navigate. We'll be tying the garage gable into the main roof. All right, so we've finally gotten to shingling up into the valleys, and I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I think I have a good plan of attack. There's a couple different ways you can do this, which I did not do the weaving method. I've never liked that. The other method is to go past the valley line, snap a line, and then cut the shingles going up. But I'm gonna do a little bit of a different version of that. For each course of shingles that I go up, I'm gonna have already established a valley line. And as I go up in the courses, I'm going to cut the shingle in the valley while I'm there. That'll keep that straight line going up the valley, and then I can go back and glue this shingle down and continue up. The other thing that I need to keep in mind is that on both sides of the valleys, I need to be mindful of having the same amount of courses on each side. So let's see how it goes. To achieve a straight line in the valley, I'm using a straight edge as my guide. The marker line is a little thick for this scale, so I'll be cutting to the outside of the line to ensure the shingles on the main roof are straight and hides the marker line. All right, here we go. I'm using felt fabric for the ridge vent. The actual product is thicker and has more rigidity to it, so I'm actually losing some of the intended shape at the ridge. As you can see, the ridge caps could be a little bit more dialed in. In retrospect, I could have made them individually instead of making one sheet with the 3 caps. Cutting them caused them to become uneven. All right, guys, after many months of work, the roof is finally done. So the next thing we're gonna be doing is working on making all the windows and doors and getting those installed. So we'll see you on the next one.